Hey everybody. All right, today I want to talk to you about becoming a safe place for your husband. And I'm going to tell a really humbling story about a screw up I did. And I want to tell you about how I noticed a different response than I would have gotten in the past. And I think that becoming a safe place for your husband is definitely like pretty much our number one goal as a wife, that if we can be a place where our husbands can tell us anything, especially if it has to do with us and we don't spiral, we can just kind of say, I hear you, then I think it really does change like everything and he becomes safer. But we have to become safer first. So the story, and I'm not going to go into too many details, but pretty much I bought something kind of knowing I shouldn't, that now is not the right time to be making extra purchases. I totally justified it. I'm like the queen of justification. I can justify pretty much any purchase. I don't tend to buy things just like frivolously, but yet sometimes they're not like a need. And that's a whole different skill. Like, having a pure desire and like trusting your husband and spouse fulfilling prophecies around generosity. And I could talk about pure desires in another video. But I bought the thing and I just was like kind of ridden with guilt. And I was like, okay, it hasn't even arrived yet. And I was like, that was wrong. That was wrong of me. And like I couldn't cancel it because it was too late. And so I had a Coach Carol call, a group call that I wasn't even a part of. And the entire call was about pure desires and like our husband's being generous. And I was like, wow, Holy Spirit, okay, you just kicked my butt. So I was like, I have to apologize. Like, I have to clean up my side of the street. I can't just like hide this from him, because that's what I used to do. I used to just not tell him, just make purchases, not tell him. And he, I'm guessing, if I asked him, would say it was not safe for him to question my purchases or to question how I was spending money. Well, same thing, but because I would push back. And so typically he would just kind of keep it quiet until, and like I was the one doing the money. So he wasn't even, now he's doing the money, right? So that dynamic changed as well. So last night I apologized and I was like, I'm so sorry, this is what happened. And I was disrespectful when I did this. And that's the Coach Carol apology, would be like, the Empowered Wife apology, which is like, I was disrespectful to you when, and then share that. And because it totally was disrespectful to him, and it was not trusting him that he wants to make me happy and that he would be generous. And even if it's a no, it's not a no forever, it's a no right now. And that I have to sit with that no. And honestly, most of the time he says no, and then like a few hours later, he'll be like, you know what? It's fine. And that trust. And it's always been such a blessing to have that dynamic. And I totally just took that. So I apologized. And what I was trying to say is, since I'm working on being a safe place, like he said some hard things to me and they hurt. And it wasn't like they hurt, but they hurt in like two different ways. Yeah, they stung my pride a bit, but even more so, I'm realizing that they hurt because I want Ryan to think of me as like the best woman, like the most honorable, the most respectful, the most obedient. And so when I do something that's outside of that virtue, those virtues, and he's disappointed, it's like, gosh, yeah, like I screwed up and I'm disappointed, not like to the point of like sulking, but yet I'm just disappointed that I let him down. And I think that's kind of a newer experience for me. And I'm reading Emma, and I thought it was interesting because it related a little bit to the moment where Emma makes fun of Miss Bates and Mr. Knightley corrects her, and she starts crying, and she talks about how she didn't get a chance to let him know, like give him a smile, let him know that like it wasn't because how dare he chastise her. It was that she honors his opinion so much of her, and he's right. And she did screw up. And she wanted the chance to show him that she still had good feelings towards him and was still, happy towards him, even though he chastised her. And yet she didn't get that opportunity, and then other things happened. And she goes through a little bit of net, right? Needless emotional turmoil because she didn't have that opportunity. And so I'm like sitting there kind of crying because he's saying hard things to me. And um, and I'm saying I hear you. And that's hard. That's hard to say I hear you when someone's telling you like things about yourself that you don't want to face or you don't want to admit and you feel are unfair because, pride. And and because of the coaching, I know Ryan's allowed to have his emotions. He's allowed to be frustrated with me. He's allowed to be unhappy with me. And so he walked away and I didn't fall into a puddle, like I used to. And I just, stayed calm and I went about my, cleaning up the kitchen or whatever I was doing. I can't remember. I think I was making dinner or I was cleaning up. No, I was cleaning up the kitchen. And he came back and he was like, hey, oh, and he told me I offered to return the item. Like the minute it got here, don't even open it. Just stick it back in the mail, get the money back. And he said no. And at the time, he's like, no, I want you to keep it. And at the time, I didn't think about it. But as I was cleaning the dishes, I was like, oh, wow. Like, I need to receive graciously. He just gave me a gift. Like, he practically bought it for me now because he told me that I didn't have to return it. And so he came back in. He said, I had made him a bath. And he had said, like, thank you for the bath. Thank you for the coffee. And he was being really sweet and loving. And it was like nothing had happened. And I said, thank you for allowing me to keep the item. You didn't have to do that. And he's like, no, I didn't. And that was it. That was it. And I was like, wow, that could have turned into such a ridiculous fight because I could have been in such a place where he didn't feel safe. So I've always wanted to have fights or discussions, at the kitchen table like we had, where he was really calm and he was allowed to like have his emotions, but he was really calm. And I didn't realize that I was the one creating the dynamic of like these big blow-ups because I wasn't safe. And then he would try to like tell me and I would just push back with all this pride. And eventually, because these skills take total humility. They take so much humility, but they're so worth it because life is so much better this way than it is sitting in the pride of I'm never wrong. Whatever I decide is perfect. And I'm a princess and you just need to treat me like one. Maybe if you don't like, I am a princess, right? We all are. All women are princesses. We're all daughters of God. So that's amazing. But we owe so much to our husbands. They do so much for us and they want us to be happy. They want us to have the things we want. And like story after story I hear, and like my husband, he just like bought me a washer and dryer. He bought me a brand new phone, like outright. He is like so open to the ideas I have for, I want an outdoor, patio set so I can hang outside and like chit chat and have a place outside because I love being outside. I don't like being inside. I love being outside. This house has great windows and I'm like, oh, that's so great. And like a big sky. And, I might talk about how I want to arrange the house and he's just like, yeah, whatever you want, just decide. And I'm just like, he's so generous. And I had this story before that was like, oh no, he won't give me anything I want. I have to just sneak it. I have to just do it without, and then I rationalized it, I'm not sneaking because I'm doing the money, or I'm not sneaking because I have this extra money over here. And so I'm just going to use that. Or, I'm going to like say that my mom's, money that she gave me to spend on however I wanted was spent this way, even though I already said it was bookmarked for something else. So the end of the story is not just that Ryan's amazing, but that when we become safe, we get the things we want, not only materially, but also more importantly, we get that husband that can stay regulated when he has something hard to say, and allowing him to have the emotions, letting him say, I am disappointed. I am angry. I am frustrated. I am, I do feel disrespected. I don't know, whatever else, allowing that kind of verbiage to come from your husband and to say, I hear you. And for him to say things like, you do this, or you do this, or this is your pattern, and be like, I hear you. You don't even have to agree with him, but you have, all you're saying is, I hear you. You're not even saying you're 100% right. That's totally me. And you don't have to take in his view of you if you don't think that's accurate. But saying, I hear you, it just completely takes the conversation to a different place. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's, again, the empowered wife skills they're so life-changing. And I think that they create this like growth mindset of, I want to grow into that woman. I want to be, the humble Emma, and allow my husband to be Mr. Knightley and to look at him that way. And the more we practice the skills, the more I do see my husband as Mr. Knightley. And it's just like, okay, I love this. So if you're not a Jane Austen fan, pick up Pride and Prejudice and you will be. It's so good. But I'm talking about Emma because that's what I'm reading right now. Okay, guys, Pax Christi. I'd love to know what your thoughts are in the and down below. I'll talk to you soon.